Hello, good afternoon, friends. You might have heard about a genre of writings called as self-help books, which are being popular in the modern times. I came across this very interesting book recently, Seven Habits of Highly Effective People, written by Stephen Covey. It is said that if we want to be successful in life, if we want to be happy in life, we have to change our habits because habits decide our personality. So in this book, he has spoken about the good habits that we should cultivate in ourselves to become effective people. And I think this is a book worth reading for the youngsters who want to build up a great career. And I hope you are keeping well, you are taking care of your family during these times. We have already discussed all the acts of drama Abhijnana Shakuntala. Act number 7 was finished in the last lecture, and I also gave you the list of characters. Of course, I did not discuss them in the last lecture in detail, which I am going to do it in this lecture. The characters in the play Abhijnana Shakuntala, we can divide them into two categories: the major and the minor characters, of course, as usual. And then there is something very interesting in this drama. There is no villain or there is no antagonist character. We usually have in the novels and the films, we have the hero and the villain. But here, this play is unique because this play doesn't have a villainous character. Or we can't call someone as a antagonist in this play. Then you might think that since Durvasa gave the curse, we can call him antagonist. No, because Durvasa just is one minor character which comes or who comes in the play for some fractions of a second and goes out of the scene. And although he has given curse to Shakuntala and Dushyanta, he has also told the remedy for that curse. So we can't exactly name him as an antagonist or the villainous character in the drama. In this way, if we consider this drama, it is very unique. It is not like the novels or the films we have. And maybe because Kalidasa wanted to make it entertaining or make it more of a lighter kind of a drama. Lighter means lighter in emotions. The emotions of the people should not be hurt or they should not feel bad when they look at the play, and because of this reason antagonist is not involved in the play. So this is a very unique character. We have to remember about this play that there is no antagonist, and that is why the romantic mood of the poem or the drama is retained throughout the story. Nowhere there is a disturbance. Of course, there are moments of separation, but then again it ends happily. The major characters in this play are Dushyanta, the hero, we call also as protagonist, and his heroine Shakuntala, the female protagonist or the heroine. And then Priyamvada and Ansuya, in modern terms we can call them supportive characters or supportive roles. They are companions to Shakuntala. And then we have Vidushaka, counterpart of Priyamvada and Ansuya, because he is a male companion and friend to Kalidasa. And then we have Kanva, who is also an important character. Gautami is a major character. So these are major characters in the play Abhijnana Shakuntala, and the minor characters are like the Sutradhara and his companion actress, Vaikhanasa, an ascetic in the hermitage of Kanva. Then you have Maricha, who comes in the last act of the drama. Then Matali, the charioteer of Indra's chariot. Sanumati, an assistant and friend to Menika, and even Menika herself, and the fisherman and the two police officers. These are the minor characters who also play some important role in the play Abhijnana Shakuntala. So let us first come to the discussion of the character Dushyanta. As I said in the beginning, that in Sanskrit dramatic tradition there has been a description of the king or the hero of the play, that he should be hero datta, that he should have certain criteria of qualities to be qualified or to be called as a hero of the drama or the story. So how is this character of Dushyanta? Right from the first act to seventh act, we find that this character is there in the play. He plays an active role. In the first act, we see him as a young lover, passionate for his lover Shakuntala, and how he tries to persuade her, how he tries to always be with her. So there he is shown as a passionate lover. In act number 2, when there is a lot of conversation between Dushyanta and Vidushaka, we see the friendly nature of Dushyanta. We see him as a good friend to Vidushaka. Then in the third act, we see him again as a confident man who comes out with his expressions of love for Shakuntala, and he finally proposes her for marriage and they marry secretly. Here we see him to be a more mature kind of a lover, because he turns out that relation into an official marriage. So here we see the king Dushyanta as a responsible man, as a family man. Then in act number 4, there is no role to be played by Dushyanta. He comes back in act number 5, wherein there is this court scene and we see his grandeur as a king now. So this movement is from being a lover towards being a responsible king. And in this particular act number 5, we see him how he is a balanced kind of a king who knows diplomatic rules, who is very diplomatic in his talks and in his behavior. We also see his ability to manage his court very well. In one side, we can blame Dushyanta for not having recognized Shakuntala, but we also understand that there is a curse which is acting behind this. So we can't directly conclude that he is irresponsible and that he is oblivious of the marriage on his own. It was because of the curse which was acting upon the mind of Dushyanta and Shakuntala. But nonetheless, he blames the woman, or he blames the ascetics who were accompanying Shakuntala, because he felt threat to his own position. He says, you come all of a sudden from somewhere and you accuse me, saying that this woman is my wife and that she is pregnant because of me. So this is a false accusation about which he is worried, and he doesn't know that it is his own wife. That is why he is saying like that. But we can't call him an irresponsible person here. Okay, he is afraid of the disrespect, or he is afraid of the spoiling of his own reputation in the kingdom if the people go on saying like this. So what he does, in order to stop this bad reputation, he asks the woman to wait and he gives shelter to the woman. So we can say that he is also a kind man, and whatever he has done to Shakuntala is all in a fit of confusion, because he doesn't know anything about her right now. But at the same time, we see him as a kind man. He doesn't directly reject Shakuntala. He doesn't even give her any sort of a punishment, but he considers that Shakuntala is pregnant, and she, being a pregnant lady, must be respected and must be taken care of. So he arranges for her accommodation separately in a safe and secure place, so that he would understand who the lady really is after the delivery of the child. So if we say that the king is somewhat irresponsible on one hand, on the other hand, we can also see him as a kind person who knows how to give shelter to the one who has come as a destitute in his kingdom. So here in this act number 5, we can see king as an able Dushyanta as an able king who knows diplomatic rules, who knows how to keep up his reputation throughout his kingdom. In act number 6, this is the scene of, again, it happens in the capital of Dushyanta. Again, we see the power of the king as an efficient leader, as an efficient manager of the state, because his police people have caught the fisherman who had a ring of the king with him. Of course, as I said earlier, this is an addition given by Kalidasa in the play in order to show the grace or grandeur of the king as an able administrator. So this scene shows that he was a very good administrator and that he knew how to what we can say, how to depute powers to different authorities in his kingdom. So the two officers, police officers, have caught the fisherman, and when they come to the court, the king doesn't directly punish the fisherman. Here also we have to understand that the king is a wise king. He is not like any other foolish king. Alright, taking sudden decisions. He is not a dictator. He cares for the public in his state and he wants to verify the facts before he chooses to punish the fisherman because of the claim of theft. And he asks his spies to go and investigate the matter, and only after that the decision about this fisherman will be taken. And in this way, king proves that he is a good administrator, that he doesn't act on his whims and fancies, but he acts wisely. He verifies the facts before taking certain decision about a person. And then when the spies come back with reports that indeed the ring was found in the stomach of a fish, the king releases the fisherman, and in fact he gifts or gives presents to the fisherman as a sign of respect, as a sign of goodness, because the king would never have known if the fisherman had kept the ring for himself, right? But when the fisherman has come on his own to respect his honesty as a common citizen, the king gifts him with lots of presents. And this is one beautiful quality, that he is not keeping the wealth only for himself. He loves to keep his public happy, and when they are good, when they are honest, he respects them. This is another good quality of a king that has been highlighted by Kalidasa through the character of Dushyanta. At the end of, in the middle of act number 6, we see him as a forlorn lover, and now the ring has been recovered from the fisherman, and he starts remembering all the time and the days spent with Shakuntala. He regrets. So the feeling of regret, how it can trouble even a king. We have to understand here that he is a king after all. In those days, in those times of Mahabharata and Ramayana, kings would marry several women. If Shakuntala was lost somewhere, he would have definitely married someone else. But to show that the love for Shakuntala was indeed very deep for the king, he is shown to be a forlorn lover who is really missing his wife Shakuntala, and in fact this is very clearly proved when he says all the celebrations of festivals for the time in the district have been cancelled for the time being, in order to show that the king is in grief. So here we see that the king is really a man who has deep feelings of love, and he doesn't want himself to be called a cheater, and he is regretting for his actions, how he ill-treated Shakuntala when she had come first. But in fact, then the things were not in his hands, and now he wants to recover all of the things, and he wants to somehow meet Shakuntala once again. He is expressing all those concerns once again, and we see him as a lover in deep pain, because of the missing. So we see him as a lovesick man here again, and he is drawing the portrait of Shakuntala, which shows that indeed this was a true love story. At the end of act number 6, we see Matali coming with Indra's chariot to the palace of King Dushyanta, and Indra is in need of Dushyanta to fight against the demons in the heaven. And this shows that Dushyanta was not just a king who was all the time busy in his love affair with Shakuntala or in his romantic thoughts, but he was also a strong and a courageous warrior. He never feared the demons, and he immediately goes with Matali to fight against the demons, in spite of the fact that his wife is not there and he is missing her till now. He goes because for him duty is more important, and the matter can be solved later. The matter of love can be solved later, but at that point of time it was his duty to serve the god who has bestowed upon him the kingdom. So he is shown as a responsible man as well as a strong warrior, because he is not afraid of going to a war with the demons. So these are the heroic qualities. This is a part wherein we see how Dushyanta has these valorous, strong and heroic qualities of a warrior also. Apart from, so this is another phase we are seeing of Dushyanta. Apart from being a lover, a romantic person, he is also a practical warrior. In act number 7, he returns along with Matali back to earth, back to his kingdom after successfully completing the war with the demons. And now, when he is coming back to the palace, he sees the ashram of Maricha. When he looks at this ashram, he feels like paying respect to this Maricha Rishi and asks Matali to take the chariot there. And he goes to the hermitage of Maricha in order to seek his blessings. Here, another great quality of a king is shown, that the king, even though he is the ruler of the whole state, he is a man who respects the elders. He is a man who respects the learned sages, and this is another quality of greatness. That is, we have to bow in front of those who are greater than us in knowledge, in learning. So as a king, he is paying respect to the sage Maricha and seeks his blessings. So these are the various phases of the king, facades of King Dushyanta we see in the drama Abhijnana Shakuntala. In 1 or 2 episodes, in act number 2 and act number 3, we see him to be in confusion between his duty and his love, between his dharma and kama. But of course, this is not to a greater extent. When he feels that his dharma or duty is important, he goes and attends it immediately. There is an episode wherein he is called by his mother back to the capital to perform some ritual, and at that time it is not an emergency situation. The ritual was not an emergency situation, so he sends Vidushaka instead of him to attend the ritual, and at the same time, along with fulfilling his desire to meet Shakuntala, he is also performing his duty there to safeguard the sages who were in the ashram of Kanva Rishi. There is another proof that Dushyanta is a really worthy man. Although he is not present in act number 4, we see his praises done by Kanva Rishi. When Kanva comes to know that Shakuntala is married to Dushyanta, he is very happy, and this happiness itself shows that Dushyanta was a worthy man. He was a man of great respect. He was an able man with all the great qualities of a hero. So indirect praises for Dushyanta are also seen in act number 4. Thereby, his effect or the influence of the hero can be seen throughout the drama. although he is not present in action in the fourth act, we see him praised by Kanva and the other ascetics there, other characters there. So his effect as a hero, his aura as a hero has been spread throughout all the acts in the drama. Thereby, he qualifies himself to be called as a hero according to the Sanskrit tradition of heroism as proclaimed by Bharata Muni, that the king should have so many qualities. I would like to repeat that part wherein the king's qualities or the hero's qualities are given. The hero is Dhira, Udatta, and the other things about king. The other day I was telling you the characters of a hero, that the hero should be respectful to the elders, that the hero should have qualities of courage, the hero should be soft spoken, hero should also speak confidently. At the same time, hero should love others equally, hero should be noble in all his aspects, he should be able to he should be full of charity in his heart. So there are these qualities which are fulfilled by Dushyanta in this drama. Thereby we can really call him an able hero in the drama Abhijnana Shakuntala. I would like to now discuss another very important character, that is of Shakuntala. Of course, she is the counterpart, female counterpart of Dushyanta, the heroine of the play, and even her effect or her aura can be seen throughout the whole play in all the 7 acts. In act number 1, we see her as an innocent, beautiful young girl who knows her responsibilities, who knows her duties very well in the ashram of Rishi Kanva. So she has all the qualities that are required for the ascetics to remain in that ashram, and she knows the culture of ascetics. She is shown to be a nature lover. She tends all the plants. She takes care of the animals in the garden of that ashram. That is how she is the very symbol of romanticism in the whole play. She is beautiful, she is young, she is soft spoken, she loves natural things, she takes care of the plants and the trees and even the animals in the garden. She is a soft spoken person because of we see her dialogues with her friends Priyamvada and Anasuya, how they are very friendly with each other. These are all the scenes that we see in act number 1, and then in act number 2 there is no much role to be played by Shakuntala here. And again, going back to act number 1, she is also shown as a confused lover. She has feelings, but she doesn't go and express them directly in front of Dushyanta, because that was not the tradition of those days. In that classical tradition, it is always the king or the man who would go near the woman and he would propose first. Even though the woman had feelings for the man, she would not express directly. We can see her confusions, or we can see the conflict in her mind. She is not able to express the feelings of love towards Dushyanta openly, and she is trying to hide those feelings, but her hiding is not successful one. We see these kind of confusions through her actions in act number 1. In act number 2, although she is not there, her effect can be seen upon the king, who is not able to forget her beauty. And through the dialogues between Dushyanta and Vidushaka, we come to know how, as a young charming woman, she has got her influence on the king Dushyanta. In act number 3, when the story proceeds to the next level, we see now Shakuntala is lovesick. She is desperate to express her feelings of love towards Dushyanta, and here is the actual trouble which starts now. That slowly in the mood of love and romance for Dushyanta, she is slowly forgetting her duties in the ashram, the results of which are seen in the next act, of course. What is happening to Shakuntala here? In act number 3, she is desperate to see Dushyanta. Again and again, she is trying to speak to her friends about the man whom she had seen. She is trying to know more about Dushyanta from her friends. So all this restlessness of a lover, of a typical lover, are shown in act number 3, and how she is desperate to express her love, which she truly feels for Dushyanta. She is trying to find out different ways to express that, and then the friends tell her, you express it in the form of a love poem, and she starts writing the poem, and immediately the king comes out of his hiding and he proposes. So what is told here? Here in this act, Shakuntala is shown to be more focused on the feelings of love rather than on the sense of duty in her hermitage, and how the love sickness has caught her in a trap. This is what we see in act number 3. In act number 4, there is this climax wherein she forgets about her duties because of the thoughts of love. Now that Dushyanta has married her and has gone back to the capital, she is restless, she is afraid, and she is missing the king very badly. She is afraid that the king will not come back to take her to the capital. She is restless because of the same reason, and she is forgetting her duties of hospitality to the guests in this mood of love sickness, wherein she gets the curse of Durvasa. So here we may find that slowly her stature of a heroine is falling here. We can question it, right? But then this is a romantic drama, and to show how the feelings of love can affect a person, at what level they can affect a person, to show this effect of love, Kalidasa has used this kind of a technique, and in fact it is there even in the main story of Mahabharata. Here she is shown as a lovesick woman who forgets her duties. In the same act, act number 4, towards the end, all the feelings of a girl who is leaving her maternal home in order to go to her husband's place after marriage are all shown here, which are full of emotions. So here she is shown to be a completely emotional woman, how she was attached to all the things that were there in the ashram of Kanvarushi, how she was attached to her foster father Kanvarushi, how she was attached to even the small animals and the trees, flowers of the ashram, how she was one with nature. All these things are expressed, and the way she misses them all, the way she tries to talk to all of these things, show that she was a sensitive woman, sensitive and emotional. In act number 5, she comes to the court of the king Dushyanta. Here we can say that she is a puppet in the hands of fate. So the curse is acting upon her, and maybe we can even call her a careless woman to some extent, because while traveling in the water on the boat, she did not take care of the ring which fell off in the water. It is not told directly in the drama, but later we come to know about this. So here she is shown to be a puppet in the hands of fate, because she tries to convince the king that she is his wife, and whatever way she tries, the king is not able to listen to her. She starts complaining about her own fate. She starts blaming herself. Here she is shown to have the feelings of regret also. Somewhere she feels repentance to have married a man who is careless, who is having no sense of responsibility towards his own wife. So she has all these sorts of feelings. She is feeling extremely bad, and her times are going very horrible now. This is what happens in act number 5, and in the end of act number 5, when even the people who had accompanied her to the court of the king, when they leave her, and when the king is also not ready to accept her, she feels like a destitute woman, she feels like a totally helpless woman in the hands of fate. The character of Shakuntala has many ups and downs like this. In act number 5 itself, she is shown to be disappeared in the form of light, and Menaka takes her back to celestial place abode. And in act number 6, the king is shown to be lovesick. Here there is no role of Shakuntala to play. She is an absent character in act number 6. Ultimately, in act number 7, she returns, and in the ashram of Maricha, she reunites with her husband Dushyanta, and she is with her child Bharata, who is now in the play known as Sarvadamana. So it ends in a happy marriage once again. With Dushyanta, this reunion takes place. So the woman who has suffered a lot of things ultimately gets her happiness at the end of the play. This is how the character of Shakuntala has been described very beautifully. She is the symbol of beauty, she is the symbol of love, she is the symbol of romance, she is the symbol of even responsibilities as a wife and as a mother. But at the same time, she is shown to be an unfortunate character to some extent because of the things that are happening to her in the middle acts. That is all about the character of Shakuntala. I have discussed in this lecture the two central characters, hero and the heroine of the play Abhijnana Shakuntala. In the next lecture, I will give a brief note on the remaining characters, and further we will discuss on the themes of the drama in the following lecture. Thank you so much.